Survival games might appear simple on the surface. Some of them simply ask you to stay alive and be your own plot device. Others, however, blend survival into something much bigger. Personally, I'm more fond of the latter, because some people say life itself is about survival. But to be frank, if survival doesn't lead to anything greater, what is the point? I've carefully selected a few survival games that I think are the most relevant ones I've personally played. I plan to make a series of videos like this, going from one genre to another, analyzing and choosing 3 games to stand on the podium. And of course, the winner could only be one. You may ask, why am I doing this? Well, because I need the world to hear my useless opinion. But more than that, it's about expressing my deep passion for video games as a form of art that can be approached in many different ways. The contenders for this Best Survival Game title are 7 Days to Die, Abiotic Factor, Core Keeper, Don't Starve, Green Hell, Grounded, No Man's Sky, Palworld, Subnautica, The Forest, The Long Dark, and Valheim. Quick disclaimer before I begin. All of the games shown on the screen right now deserve a full recommendation. They're all great in their own way. I'm only expressing my opinion about the 3 I personally enjoyed the most, hopefully helping you pick your next survival game. Let's talk about which games made it into my top 3 and why. In the 3rd place, I choose Subnautica. Subnautica is an incredible game. You crash land alone on an alien planet with no survivors but yourself, and the feeling of complete isolation. You are alone, quite literally, in a hostile world filled with terrifying creatures. The game works because of this as a kind of a soft horror experience, because the unease you feel when diving into a pitch-black ocean with only a small submersible as your shield, facing monsters far bigger than yourself, is unforgettable. The survival mechanics are fairly simple, and in my case that's a compliment, because I personally do not enjoy survival systems that are too over the top or complicated. That's why I couldn't force myself to place Green Hell anywhere near the podium. I'm very sorry, Green Hell fans. Subnautica stands out visually. The UI, the soft high-tech icons, and the unique alien fauna especially. A standout example is the Ghost Leviathan, a creature that, when I first played the game, was so well designed for me that it still sometimes haunts my dreams. It is almost transparent, and the only giveaway is its slight bioluminescence in the dark. And the game finds an in-universe explanation for most of its behavior, which is honestly quite fascinating to learn. Not only Ghost Leviathan has an in-game description that makes you want to learn more about the world that you're inhabiting in the game, but even after multiple playthroughs, I'll never forget my first time entering a completely new biome and feeling a mix of awe, fear, and wonder. No other game managed to replicate that sense of discovery for me, at least just yet. Not in the sense that Subnautica did. Subnautica is an absolute recommendation. It fully deserves the 3rd place. And honestly, it could have taken 1st, if not for the 2 games that I hold even closer to my heart. For 2nd place, I've chosen Valheim. Valheim is absolutely stunning, despite its low-poly pixelated texture style. The world looks incredible. Yes, the shaders do help a lot, but it's not just that. The world generation, the landscapes, the forests, the mountains, the plains, everything feels so organic and full of atmosphere. I'll admit I am a bit biased with Valheim. It's one of the few survival games I've played with a friend, and our experience was amazing. Every time a major update drops every year or so, we jump back in, reconnect, and play through the new regions. Each update feels like a fresh adventure. Sailing across the world in a longship creates a sense of exploration that very few games can match. Valheim is very unique, being it has very unique systems. For example, the building system, which allows you to rotate items at 15, 30, or 45-degree angles that is completely impossible in games like Minecraft, for example. This allows you to build circular structures, domes, and incredible complex bases, for example. The smoke system also is quite impressive. If you don't build a chimney in your house, you'll literally suffocate. It's funny but also surprisingly immersive. And the food system, which is one of the most unique food systems I've seen. You don't eat to survive, you eat to be stronger. Food gives you bonus health, stamina, and more, making it essential during combat, for example. The main progression in Valheim is biome-based. Each biome has a boss, and the difficulty rises as you venture further from the world's center. Sometimes you'll even need to build a new base miles away and connect them through portals. Because of this, a full playthrough can easily last hundreds of hours, and every hour is worth it. The community produces mind-blowing builds because of that building system I've mentioned earlier. They look like they were created by professional artists. Valheim, for all of this, deserves the second place. It's unique, it's beautiful, and endlessly engaging. Count every time I said unique when talking about Valheim. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. What is the best survival game from the list at the beginning of the video? For me, the answer is Abiotic Factor. You play as a newly recruited scientist on your first day at the Gate Cascade Research Facility in Australia. What's immediately captivating about this game is that you're not surviving in your typical survival game setup, a forest or an alien planet. No. You are surviving in an office building. You have to make do with whatever office supplies you can find, be it pens, rulers, paper, and being a scientist allows you to create some truly ridiculous inventions to survive. One detail I absolutely love, this is the only game I know of where you reload animation changes based on your gun proficiency. At low levels your character reloads like an absolute dork, like a nervous nerd holding a gun for the first time. It adds personality and immersion, helping you connect with the world you inhabit. The facility contains 7 zones. I lied about surviving in an office building, because each of the 7 zones has its own purpose and atmosphere. The first is the office area, but the rest, well, I don't want to spoil them. You should really just try to experience them for yourself. Each one feels fresh, even after 100 hours of gameplay. Beyond that, you travel through other dimensions, some of the most creative I've ever seen. And visiting these places for the first time gives the same alien awe I got from Subnautica, but with its own unique spin. The visual style is somewhat similar to Valheim, but what really stands out are the enemy designs. From pests, Cabarnacle, Peccary, to the elusive Layak, inspired by Balinese folklore, and finally to the enormous composers, which you must hide from to survive. The crafting system is also very unique. Sometimes you have to guess which materials might create a particular item, making it feel like a real scientist experimenting under pressure. Abiotic Factor just has it all. Weapons, tools, backpacks, trinkets that reference other media with passion, creativity, and the world being full of danger in every corner. It's just, I can't stop talking about how amazing this game is. It's your go-to survival game. You don't need any other. It offers an idea with nearly limitless possibilities for future DLCs and updates, and it's absolutely worth even the full price, with more than 100 hours of content in the game right now. It's amazing and incredible, but it has its faults, and the main fault I have to indicate is that it seems like the developers have gotten a bit lazy with the map design after the office area. The rest of the areas just feel like they made a screenshot in the 3D software and just called it a map. That's the only thing I can say that's bad about Abiotic Factor in any way, because everything else feels just perfect. But enough yapping about Abiotic Factor. Now, before I end the video, there's one game that almost made it into the 3rd place, and that game is No Man's Sky. I have to admit, I didn't like No Man's Sky at first, but over time I've come to deeply admire and appreciate the developers for their commitment. They've been releasing massive free updates for years now, adding an astonishing amount of content. It may very well be the best science fiction survival space game out there, so I absolutely want to give a shout out to No Man's Sky as well. It only missed the 3rd spot for me because Subnautica is more polished in my eyes, and I'm simply biased toward it because I played it first. And that will be the end of the video. Thank you to everyone who's watching, and especially to those who made it this far. I'm basically a nobody, and I'm not trying to be someone. I just want to express my passion for video games. As I said, I'll probably make another part focusing on a different genre, and genre by genre I'll eventually rate them all, and share which ones I think are truly worth playing. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite video on the Citadel.